Have you ever thought, how do I start a business? What do I need to know? You ever wonder what niche? Are those questions that you have? Then this episode will help you get those things in check. Welcome to Maple and Mango Show. I am Rafael, your host. This is episode 9. 9. I'm almost out of fingers. Yes. So in this episode, I'm going to be covering the importance of having a side hustle, the importance of having multiple streams of incomes. And I will give you a bit of my background, where I came from, how did I become an entrepreneur. And I can tell you that sometimes you get forced into situations. Sometimes we're just hungry enough that we find the opportunities to get those things done. So, but if you are trying to get a business started and you don't know what it is, I'm going to give you 4 pointers right here that will definitely give you clarity. Number one is you must identify a problem. You must first identify a problem. If you identify a problem there is in your community, guess what? You have a business opportunity, because all that you have to do is come up with the solution, and people have no problem paying you money for this. Let me give you an example. I am from the Dominican Republic, and when I was very young, we moved to a town named Esperanza. In this town, there was just some clothing factories, and not much going on around there. There was no running water, anything like this. And there were individuals who identified that as an issue. People needed water to clean their house, to wash their clothes, for their everyday life. Maybe not drinking water, they can get that from the store, but they need a lot more water for other uses in the house. There were individuals that identified this as a problem. People needed water. There was no pipes bringing the water to the house. So they developed a business. What did they do? They found some pickup trucks. They welded some huge metal tanks on the back of it. They will go to the river or the canal, and then they will go selling water throughout the whole village, through the whole barrio. These people became very wealthy. If you notice, what does that have in common with other business? They identified the need, there was a problem, and people were gladly paying them because their problem was solved. So that's number one. Identify a need and go do everything that you have to do to come up with a solution so you can implement it. Number two, focus on service over product. Focus on service over product. Absolutely, your product needs to have quality. Absolutely. But in my experience, people like to deal better with somebody they like. People like to deal with somebody who they can relate to. I work in the financial industry, and I can tell you that I come across some clients where the product I come up with is blowing them out of the water completely. And they choose to stay with what they have, which is more expensive, not as good for them, because it is maybe a family member, it is a good friend of them, because they have a good relationship with them. So people will go with you if they enjoy working with you. So your product is second. Your identity and how you treat the people you interact with is first. So focus on service. Number 3 is build it 6 to 10. Build it 6 to 10. Let me explain to you what that means. Most people are trapped on the rat race. They work in the 8 to 5 or 7 to 4 or 7 to 5, whatever it may be. And that is good. This is your opportunity to get out of that. You used your 8 to 5 to pay your bills, and then use your 6 to 10 to build your business. Don't leave your job. Don't leave the security of your job. I mean, it works out to some people, but if you have kids, if you have a wife, you have a mortgage, it will be a bit tough and almost irresponsible to some level just to go adventure without having something that will protect your family. For myself, I was a chef before. I worked for over 15 years in the kitchen industry, and I already had a mortgage. I had two kids, my wife, and I had responsibilities. Part of the reason why I couldn't leave that industry is because I didn't have the time or the money to go take another career. Having my own business never crossed my mind because I don't come from an entrepreneur background and almost nobody in my family owns a business and stuff like that. So I only thought about being an employee. And I thought the only way was if I go back to university or college and take another degree, but I have no time or money to do so. So what did I do? I started a course that I can do in the evenings, and then I started hustling in the evenings into my business. So by working during the day, I pay my bills, and in the evenings, I built my business. But I can tell you one thing. From 6 to 8, most people just want to watch their sports. Most people just want to watch Netflix, maybe have a beer, and relax. Well, you choose what you want. You can choose comfort now, but you're going to have harshness probably later because you didn't build anything. Or you can choose to get uncomfortable now when you're younger. The youngest you're ever going to be is today. Probably the healthiest you're ever going to be, it is now. And you have the energy to put it into that so you can really enjoy life as you go. Number 4. And in this one, I'm probably going to get a bit of hate for some of you, but I don't care because this has worked for me. Do not follow the do what you love and you never work a day in your life. Do not fall for that. I would tell you a story. When I was trying to leave the kitchen, I have no time to do pretty much anything, but I found a way to go to school in the evening and take music production because I love music. People say, hey, just do what you love and you're never going to work a day in your life. Sounds good. I did that. And I remember being in that classroom, and that was one of the biggest breakthroughs I had in my life. I remember the teacher, an older gentleman, he was probably around 60 years old, and he was telling this story to the class. He was saying, in the 70s, all of my friends and myself, we were in this band together. We love music. Music was our passion. And all of us applied for music school. Everybody got in except myself. And he said, I remember vividly as if it was now. He slammed the table. He said, and I'm forever going to be grateful I didn't go into music school. I ended up going into electrical engineering, something that I have zero passion for, but I was able to build my home-based studio, buy all the instruments, go on tour with bands, retire earlier, take care of my family, and I teach here as a hobby. That's when the light bulb went up in my head. And I started thinking, my goodness. So I don't really have to be doing what I'm passionate about as long as that gets me to do the things that I really want to in life. And for me was I want to spend time with my boys. I want to spend time with my family, with my wife, and all of that. And I figured, well, what can I do to make that happen? Well, I saw people in real estate who were making good money. I saw people in finances and other places. So I went to seek a vehicle that would allow me to get from this point to where I wanted to be. And then, let me give you an example. If you're going from one city to another and there is and you're hitchhiking on the side of the road and somebody's willing to give you a ride, but it's not your favorite brand of car, would you not take the ride? I think you should. It doesn't have to be your favorite vehicle as long as it gets you to your destination. By the way, I now love with a passion what I do in finances. I have no passion for it whatsoever, but I love what I do. I love the impact that I have in people's lives. I love how, sometimes people are going through the hardest time in their lives, and I am the one showing up with a check, for if they lost a loved one. I do insurance and all those things. So, and I see the impact I'm making, and when I help somebody buy the homes, or when I help somebody get government grants for the kids' education, and the list goes on and on and on. So I'm very passionate about the impact that I'm having in my community and those people's lives. It's not necessarily I'm excited about math. It's not necessarily I'm excited about finances, but I found my passion on helping people through my business. So not my favorite thing, finances, but through it, I found a way to get excited, and a lot of blessings have come up in my life because of that. So do not fall on the do what you love. It never work a day in your life, because you can learn to love other things. And sometimes the thing we love, they can just be a hobby. You ever think about that? The things you love, they don't have to pay you. It can just be a hobby. So find a way, find a vehicle that will get you to where you want to go, and everything else is going to line up for you. All right, let's go. This is Maple and Mango, episode 9.